Yo, what's good everybody? What's good YouTube? It's your boy Johnny Finesse. Welcome back to the channel, and we're about to watch What Happened to Beats by Dre by Matty Balls. If you're new to the channel and haven't hit that subscribe button yet, make sure you hit the subscribe button. We're on the road to 1,300 subs. Thank you to everybody that has clicked on the video. You could have clicked on any other video. There's like a million videos that come out every day on YouTube, but you clicked my video, and I appreciate that. I love y'all. But with that being said, let's get into it. But before we get into it, hit that like button if you own beats before. Hit that like button if you own beats before. Alright, but let's get into it, man.
It seems like just yesterday.
I had beats. Only had like one pair of beats. I got those pairs of beats from my sister
Every
for my
music
birthday.
video, movie, and celebrity was promoting.
But it's crazy though. Nobody really wears beats anymore. Nobody really wears beats anymore. But wasn't Beats bought by Apple? I remember Beats was bought by Apple. Mad long ago, Beats was bought by Apple, and then we haven't seen Beats after that. Then we got the AirPod Maxes very soon after. I don't know, bro. I may be guessing, bro.
There's nothing I wanted more than a new pair of Beats headphones. But
one of the things that I thought that was fire, that I always wanted, but I never was gonna buy, because I'm not paying $300-400 for a pair of headphones. And that was the studio ones with the coil wire, the ones that the DJs be using and shit. That's the one I really wanted, but I'm not paying over $100 for some headphones. I'm sorry, I'm not doing that.
Hard to find someone wearing.
I'm lying. I did. I paid. I'm lying.
Vanished.
I'm so lying. I bought AirPods. AirPods is like $100 to $150, but I'm not paying $200 to $300 for some headphones. I'm not paying $200 to $300 for some headphones, bro. I'm not doing that, bro. I refuse to do that. There's no point.
The thin air, which has left me with a few questions like, why was everyone and their mom wearing Beats? How come every single popular artist was wearing them? And whatever happened to the iconic...
I could answer this one. They always put it in music videos, so they was probably getting paid. I remember Tyler, the Creator, said that shit in one of his songs. Like, Beats by Dre, he was paying people to put that in his joint, in his music video.
brand Beats
he was paying people to put that in his music video, like the Beats pill and stuff like that.
Them to be and understand why, we got to go back to the beginning. Beats by Dre obviously were created.
But Beats is alright though. It wasn't that bad, but it's like, come on, bro. It wasn't that bad, but it's like I'm not paying overpriced headphones
and more. As a producer, it gave him obviously a lot of credibility when it comes to audio quality. So it made perfect sense why people would be interested in buying his headphones. So he decided to partner up with the record executive Jimmy Iovine, who described Dr. Dre as a sound connoisseur, someone who had spent an entire career in the studio working with music and beats.
I said, Dre, we need to do something. Because he was going on about that 50 Cent was selling millions of sneakers. So I said, Dre, man, this is not us. Nobody cares what sneakers you wear. Screw sneakers. Let's do speakers. Let's get into sound, right? It's really
that was smart. That was smart. You was smart.
He said that there were
that was a good play. See, and that's smart. Like, that's smart. He was trying to do some get rich quick shit. Not some get rich quick, but like something that he liked. But the guy was like, yo, do this because you're known for making music. Like, people know you for music. So if you sell something within that, it's going to work.
Audio and overall music industry.
That's fire, bro.
And they said it was because of poor audio, because of pirated music, as well as Apple's earbuds having really poor quality. This is back whenever...
It's like basketball players selling basketball sneakers. Like, that's like basketball players selling basketball sneakers.
Everyone was using the iPod and the headphones that just came with it. Remember when we used to get earbuds for free?
Yo, bro, the good old days when they actually...
generation also just had no...
The good old days when a company loves you enough to give you everything you need. But now they don't give you nothing. They just give you a phone. They literally give you a phone. They don't give you a cord. They don't give you nothing. Just a phone.
But they were actually
just the phone.
out on.
This is crazy, bro.
From 15 to 30, 25% knew the difference between a $100 speaker and a $1,000 speaker. They are just not even tuned into sound. And most of it is for two reasons. One of them is the laptop, and the other is the earbud. That Apple earbud that 8 million people get every quarter, that we all watch and salivate over.
Yeah.
That he's making all that money. But the earbud that they stay with takes the emotion out of music.
And to be honest, there weren't too many headphone brands that were like killing the game back at this time.
Yeah, back then it was only the gummies. Remember the gummies, Joe?
Headphones were mainly.
Remember the gummies? It was like you had like the Sony ones, the cheap little $50 Sony. I had those. I had the white Sony ones. Y'all remember those? I had the Sony ones, and then they had the gummy ones. Those are the two like big ones. Those, the gummies, and then the Beats. If you couldn't afford the Beats, you had one of those. If you couldn't afford the Beats, you get the Sonys. If you couldn't afford the Sonys and the Beats, you get the gummies. The gummies were the best in quality, but they break the easiest. They were the best in quality, but they broke the easiest.
Only a utility used by the military and professional sound engineers. And that's pretty much where consumer headphone technology stayed until October 23rd, 2001.
And we are introducing a product today called iPod. You can take your whole music library with
Change
you
the
right
game.
in your pocket.
Now,
Steve
to be
Jobs,
fair, there
RIP
were
to a
other
legend, bro.
MP3
At
players
least he
on the
cared.
market at the time. But the $399 classic iPod and those white earbuds became a sort of status
Staple was
symbol.
fashion.
So Dr. Dre and Jimmy Iovine's master plan was to create a high-quality pair of headphones that would allow listeners, especially the younger generation, to experience the music the way it was intended to be listened to. Or at least that's what they're marketing.
Plus being a status, okay? It's a status to have on. That the same. It's a status. It's a status.
Originally, Beats partnered with an audio and video component company called Monster Cable, and with them they created the first ever pair of Beats headphones, the studio headphones.
This is the
back in
one.
2008.
This is the one that I low key. This is the one that I low key would have wanted, but I'm not paying X amount of dollars for some
The
headphones.
headphones were focused on a
Well, because one I was popped. I had no job.
heavy sound and advertised as a studio quality pair of headphones. Eventually they came out with newer and better headphones, as well as the Beats Pill, which was a wireless speaker. I'm not sure
Beats
if
Pills.
these speakers
I ain't gonna lie. Beats Pills was cool. Beats Pills
were
was
nearly
cool.
as popular as other speaker companies like JBL, but they were still pretty cool.
It was
they also
cool.
had these goofy little pill characters voiced by celebrities doing their ads.
They're small.
Small? I'm 7.5 inches of heaven, mother.
They're loud.
Yeah, we're speakers. We supposed to be loud.
I ain't gonna lie. I never seen this before. I never seen this. I never seen this.
It's done. Yo, can I borrow your pager and your acid wash jeans? Can I borrow your 8-ball jacket?
One of their biggest marketing moments was sending Beats to Olympic athletes. In 2008, they hooked LeBron up with a pair, who then asked for pairs for the entire Olympic basketball team.
See, Bron, a real one. He said, "Y'all gotta feed the team," and he
Then
felt
in
like that's
2012,
fire.
in a bit more of a controversial moment, Beats sent headphones to British athletes and many more like Michael Phelps. Technically, you aren't really supposed to do this, and some people were upset because, you know, they're trying to protect their sponsors. But
That's
Beats
fire.
never really
These
got
are
into
fire,
any
bro.
official trouble. Regardless,
I didn't really
Beats
like
were
those,
selling
but-
like hotcakes. The market for headphones at this time spiked from 59 million units sold and $490 million in revenue at the end of 2008, which is the year that Beats by Dre launched, to 68.7 million units sold and a revenue of 648 million the following year.
Sheesh,
Beats
bro.
by Dre really amplified the premium headphone market and kind
Oh,
of
God.
created a market that wasn't fully there. By 2013, Beats was valued at $1 billion. And if you weren't around back then, let me tell you, everybody was wearing Beats.
Everybody, bro.
In the last, I don't know, like 2
Everybody, bro. If you was somebody that had bread in high school or middle school or whatever, bro, you had on Beats. You had on Beats. There's no way you didn't have Beats, bro. There's no way.
All I see is Beats by Dre on ears, on planes in Vietnam and Jamaica and London, you know?
Crazy. We hit a lick, man.
The lick for sure, bro.
Shocked myself, man, as to how well they're doing.
Yeah.
And we're gonna keep new and exciting product coming.
I think it did so well is because of the, well, for one, status, the person who owned it, and 3, the color. Back then, like, that's why I thought the gummies was so popular, because you can get mad different type of colors, bro. Mad, and it was nice to do it because the quality of the speaker, the headphones was good, but it just broke quickly. Them shits just broke quickly. So like you can get like different colors. Like, look, bro, purple, pink, nigga, you could fucking buy 2 or 3 of them shits. Match a fit with it.
So we're trying to eventually be second to Apple, you know, and I don't think that's a bad position.
That isn't.
Really trying to take over everything with a speaker. You know what I'm saying? And also microphones. We're going to get involved in that also.
And probably
I don't think they
the driver
did, bro.
behind that was their genius marketing. Back in the 2010s, every single big artist was promoting Beats headphones. One thing that they did was they had big artists put Beats in their music videos.
They got paid for it.
Solange, Lady Gaga, Snoop Dogg, LMFAO,
They got paid for it.
Miley Cyrus, and many more all had Beats products in their music videos. Beats also collabed with a lot of other artists, athletes, and other celebrities.
Remember Tyler, the Creator, like he said that shit never wore Beats by Dre. Never put it in a video, like
in their advertisement.
It's
they
crazy.
Did this ad with Kendrick Lamar where they made a whole song for it that was never released, and it was just made for the commercial, and fans loved it.
That shit's ass, bro. That song was ass, bro. Good thing they didn't. It probably would have came out if it was good, but that shit was ass, bro. Come on. Kendrick could do better, bro. That was like a commercial song. He didn't really say anything.
There's also this commercial that people love with Colin Kaepernick called "Here."
He didn't say anything.
Where everyone was just trashing him for being a terrible quarterback, and then he put.
I remember these commercials. They had one with Draymond Green too. They had one with Draymond Green. I remember that they had one with Draymond Green. It's the same exact aspect of this, but yeah.
It's the headphones on and
it's the same exact aspect.
And locks in.
Same exact aspect. I think these are the ones that I had. Yeah, these are the ones that I had.
And in the comments of
that was the last time I had one of them shits.
Ads, people are ranting and raving about how much they used to love these commercials. They had every single celebrity and their moms doing these ads, which was extremely impactful, especially for the younger generation who looked up to these people, which was the main reason why it seemed like everyone wanted a pair of these headphones.
Hello? What up, Dre? Hold up, I gotta finish something. Talk to me.
I've never seen those. That's crazy.
Looked crisp, clean, and had a large array of colors that you could wear. Time magazine even said the company's greatest
they look like candy.
Has been its success at making headphones as much fashion accessories as they are listening devices. And by 2014, Beats controlled 70% of the market for premium headphones. And while Beats was on top of the world and in everybody's head, it didn't last forever. 2014 is when it seemed like things started to go a bit downhill for Beats. First, they did something a little bit dumb in my opinion, and that's when they started their own streaming service called Beats Music. This is when a lot of streaming services like Spotify and Apple.
I never heard of that shit.
Pick up steam, and the era of streaming was about to be ushered in.
I never heard of Beats Music.
To it early. Apparently, they even
never heard of that.
In the music industry, radio personalities, and songwriters to curate the music. They also acquired a bunch of smaller companies to build their own up. But eventually, none of that would matter because just months later, Apple acquired Beats for $3 billion. There had been rumors about the deal for a little, and then.
So wait, hold on. Let me play that back. Let me play that back real quick.
Beats Music. This is when a lot of streaming services like Spotify and Apple Music were about to pick up steam, and the era of streaming was about to be ushered in. So I guess it was sort of smart to try to get into it early. Apparently, they even hired people in the music industry, radio personalities, and songwriters to curate the music. They also
so they had like their own little radio station within the Beats Music joint. Beats Music on Tuesday announced it is requiring Topspin Media, a platform that lets artists sell their merch. See, now y'all wildin'.
Acquired a bunch of smaller companies to build their own up. But eventually, none of that would matter because just months later, Apple acquired Beats for $3 billion.
So I don't know, like they was trying to do something and they said, "Let me get out of here, bro. Let me get out of here, bro." I felt like at that point it was like, "Let me get out of here, bro. Let me sell it at the prime. Let me sell the company at the prime." Which is always smart for the person that creates the business. Every person that I've seen that sells their business at their prime is always the smart, because it's always gonna go downhill. Like everybody, because at that point, everybody got beats. Everybody has beats. Everybody has them. You feel me? Everybody has it. You trying to create something new, something that might work. Like we don't know if it was gonna work back then. We don't know if it was gonna work back then. And on top of that, you got Apple Music, Spotify. And I think SoundCloud was still there. So it's like you competing with all these people. And it's not like you're not going to keep up. Like it's going to be hard.
About the deal for a little.
So you sell the company at its highest point at $3 billion? $3 billion?
Right before the deal went live, a video was posted to Facebook by Tyrese Gibson of Dr. Dre ecstatic that he had just become the quote-unquote first billionaire in hip-hop.
Another level. Billionaire boys club for real, homie. Huh? Fix your face. Fix your face. Oh, shit. The Forbes list just changed. They need, hey, it came out like 2 weeks ago. They need to update the Forbes list. Shit just changed. And a big what? Oh, my. Understand that. Oh, my. First billionaire in hip-hop right here from the motherfucking West Coast. Believe me.
Not to ruin Dre's fun, though, but I don't think his net worth actually ever technically hit $1 billion. Although, you know, he's still got enough money. After Apple acquired Beats,
$3 billion, bro. That's tough. First rapper too. Was he truly the first rapper? Or was he was truly the first rapper because that was mad long ago. Years later than Drake, then Jay-Z got it.
Dr. Dre and Jimmy Iovine became workers at Apple. Apple laid off about 200 Beats,
eliminating 200 jobs at Beats following $3 billion. So you bought the company to kill it, basically. They bought the company, they bought the brand to kill the brand. That's what like how it looks right now. So let me hear what he said.
Got enough money. After Apple acquired Beats, Dr. Dre and Jimmy Iovine became workers at Apple. Apple laid off about 200 Beats employees, and immediately, just months after its creation, Beats Music was shut down because of the launch of Apple Music. So just
So in my head, I ain't gonna lie, I'm thinking that Apple bought this because they seen the idea in the Beats Music app. They seen the idea in the Beats Music app and said, "Nah, we gotta buy this right now. We gotta buy this right now. $3 billion. We gotta buy this right now before it takes off to another level and we lose them." And that was smart. That was smart by Apple, because I guarantee you they already made that. They already made double from that $3 billion. Guaranteed. They already made double from that shit. I guarantee you, bro. I guarantee you.
Just like Agario,
I guarantee you they already made
by Dre. As years went on following the acquisition,
they bought Beats to kill the brand. That's what it looks like. You bought Beats. You fired more than half of the employees from the Beats company. You did get rid of the app and replace it with Apple Music. You bought the brand and killed the brand, basically.
It seemed like Beats by Dre faded away into obscurity. That paired with a couple of lawsuits, and it seemed like everything was just over for the brand. I will say though, one thing it seemed like Apple tried to adopt from Beats for a little bit was their advertising strategy.
Yeah.
Many people like to blame Apple for the reason that Beats by Dre failed, but regardless of the Apple acquisition, I actually think one of the main reasons that Beats failed was simply because the headphones really weren't that great. I used to have a pair, and I'm not an audiophile or anything, but I remember them not being that comfortable. They felt very breakable. They didn't feel too high quality. And
yeah, they do break though. They do break. You do have to take care of them joints. You do have to take care of the Beats, bro. You do have to take care of the Beats. I remember one of the headphones needed batteries to work, bro. I think it was was it the wireless one or the one that needed wires? I think you needed batteries to make that shit work. I said, fuck no.
Yeah, I just couldn't wear them for a while. They just weren't that.
I never bought a pair of Beats. I was only got one as a gift. So I never bought Beats,
found
bro.
some audio files
So
on Reddit.
I was never gonna buy full price headphones to listen to music when you got
the audio files out there,
Beats,
but they
bro.
know their stuff, which is why most of them aren't fans of these headphones. When asked what happened to Beats on Reddit, one person said, "People realized the headphones suck." Another said, "They got huge because they had a marketing campaign based on loudness era shitty mastering practices in the recording industry. Instead of calling it out, they decided that they can fool people into thinking that headphones are at fault." Another person said, "The downfall in my opinion is when folks started to dissect Beats and found out it's no different or better than some skull candies or other similar products."
Skull candies. That I think that's what they called. Nah. I think it's either that or gummies. I remember them shits, bro.
Once you got your hands on some, and then you compared them to the lower.
Because like you can get a louder, better based headphones for $20 instead of spending like $150 to $200. It's crazy.
Options. And you realize it's just a status symbol.
It's just crazy.
Beats were 100% a status symbol at the time. Like the article I mentioned earlier that said they were just a fashion accessory to many people. The quality on these headphones compared to the other types of headphones on the market nowadays is just night and day. I may not have noticed it back then when I was like 12 years old, but the audio quality is quite different. So like I said, Beats continue to fade into obscurity. So quite simply, the main reason Beats didn't work is because their marketing campaign couldn't last forever and they didn't evolve as much as their competitors, which is largely thanks to Apple. Now we live in a time
I'm
where
told you they
everyone can
killed.
look up
They bought
reviews on
their
headphones and find
product
out
to
that
kill
there
the
are much
product.
Brought to you by
They bought their product to kill the product. That's what people with endless amount of money do. They buy their product, they buy their company to kill their shit.
The other companies like Bose, Sony, and more started taking over the headphone game. And by the time that the AirPods came out in late 2016,
Nigga, I still got my shit too. Like, come on, about AirPods. Like, this is single-handedly one of the greatest inventions to come out. One of the greatest inventions that Apple has ever created is the AirPods, bro. Cause I remember I'd be on the bus. I remember I used to be on the bus chilling. Then I don't know where I try to take out my phone. I hit the wire, my AirPods is out, ruins my mood type shit. So with these, I love these.
Apple began their domination of the audio game.
But now, I ain't gonna lie, the wired headphones have better quality. They have better quality, bro. They have better quality, bro.
I don't know about you guys, but it
They have
feels
better
to me
quality.
that everyone switched to wireless earbuds thanks to Apple. Pretty much
That
everyone
is.
I know had or has AirPods, and honestly, the word AirPods almost became synonymous with wireless earbuds, except for that brief phase where everyone was wearing those like around the neck headphones that were
Hell no.
wireless and they, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Hell
those
no.
were kind of weird. I never really liked those.
Hell
I
no.
mean, think about it. Why would you spend like $300 on some bulky headphones when for like?
See, like, these is ass. These are not worth the price. That's a status symbol. This is a status symbol. You got enough bread to waste on some headphones. Like, what? Get out of here with that. I low-key want these, but I don't need them because I still got these and these still work. So I don't need these. I'm not buying something that I don't need. I mean, that I want. Like, wants and needs got to be separated. No cap.
Half the price, you can get some convenient wireless earbuds that you can wear anywhere. And that's why by 2021, Apple had the majority of market share when it
That is because they changed the game. Beats by Dre didn't have them yet. Bose didn't have them. Samsung didn't have them. None of these guys had these yet. Only Apple had them, and that shit just killed them.
to headphones.
It just killed
and if
them.
you fast forward to today, now it seems like everyone's buying Apple's headphones, the AirPod Maxes.
No, I'm not.
Gonna lie, I fell for the propaganda too.
I'm not buying that.
Great quality wise, and they're not like the best headphones on the market, and they're.
I'm not buying that. I'm not paying $600 for some headphones. I'm not paying $600 for some headphones, bro.
But I just think these are sleek. I can't lie.
They look nice. Don't get me wrong. They look nice. But I'm not paying $600 for some headphones. I'm not. There's plenty of other things you could have bought for $600 that could have been more better than them headphones, bro.
Regardless, no one was really wearing over-ear headphones at this time. And if
that ass. But you still bought it. You still spent $600. Nobody. You even said to yourself, nobody's wearing them over-the-head headphones, but you still bought them joints. You wildin', bro.
there's a great chance that it wasn't Beats. Apple was all in on AirPods, and Beats were more so an afterthought at this time as, again, they were a subsidiary of Apple. Around this time, Beats did put out some wireless over-ear headphones, but there were just better brands at the time, and that's really why Beats fell off. But it seems as if Beats is trying to make a comeback. Right now, it seems like, despite going under the radar for a while, Beats is trying to...
Ooh. Since they bought by Apple, you can have a secondary joint. But is it going to be as good as the AirPods? That's the thing. Because since Apple owns the product, they can make it slightly less quality, but at a bigger price. So it's like to make the Apple brand look better. Yeah, that's some business. That's business 101, bro.
Backing the company, I wouldn't be too surprised if it worked out. Lately, they've been going back to their roots, collaborating with pop culture people like Skepta, LeBron James, and Lil Wayne. They even partnered with Minecraft to make some sick-ass creeper headphones. On top of that, they have actually seen a decent amount of growth these last couple of years, and I think that's mostly due to sales from the powerbeats, which are unique in their own right. It seems though that they've changed up their target audience a bit from the younger generation, just like everybody in general, and more so to athletes, fitness people, and fans of hip-hop. I mean, if you go to their page,
that's the people that need them, bro.
Wearing the headphones on the very front.
That's the people that need them. That's how it started before. You give it to the athletes give it to the kids. Business, bro. You give it to the athletes give it to the kids. Shohei Ohtani has it. People who love Shohei Ohtani, which is basically everybody from Japan, they're gonna buy those.
So clearly they're going for more of an
I'm saying business one-on-one.
When the current CEO was asked if he thought they were rebels against the Apple ecosystem, he made it seem like they were fine with targeting that audience, while Apple was left to dominate the rest of the mainstream headphone industry. He did admit that Beats by Dre fell off for a bit, but that they are going to revamp all of their products. Beats headphones have definitely improved to try to keep up with the current headphone technology, but they're definitely not the top dogs anymore. This was a recent interview from last year, so who knows, maybe Beats will make some killer headphones soon and get some more market share in the headphones industry. Regardless, Beats were still an iconic moment in pop culture that helped shift the audio market as we know it. Also, fun fact, will.i.am from the Black Eyed Peas said he invested a lot in Beats early and made millions from being a shareholder. If you like this video, you might like my video about what happened to Vivo, a company that suffered a similar demise to the Apple.
So what happened to Dre? What happened to Beats by Dre? It was becoming big. Apple bought Beats by Dre at an undeniable number and killed the brand. As soon as they bought it, they fired 200 people. Saved some bread. You know what, to save some bread. We don't need you no more. We don't need you no more. They took out the app. They took out that app and replaced it with Apple Music. They bought them out. They bought out the competition, basically. That's what happened to Beats by Dre. They bought out the competition. And now Apple's trying to get some money. It's like, oh, we still own Beats. We still own Beats. We could pop out Beats. We could just give them some Beats. Give them the cheap ass headphone quality shit. Give them that. Give them that real quick. Now it's coming back a little bit. We can give it out to athletes. We can give them out to athletes. And then people that love athletes and see what they do and really worship them type shit. See them with the Beats, they're gonna buy Beats themselves. Like the same method that Dre did. They doing the same method. And is it gonna work? At this point, it's still gonna work. It's people gonna buy them. People gonna buy them.
And Beats Agario analogy I made earlier. Anyways, if you enjoyed, make sure.
You know what I'm saying? The same thing with Vivo. Vivo becoming big as hell. He just said Apple did the same thing to Vivo. We gonna react to this too. You gonna react to this too. But if you made it to the end of the video, I appreciate every single one of y'all that made it to the end of the video. I love y'all. I really do. With that being said, it's your boy Johnny Finesse. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. You made it to the end of the video. You obviously like the video, so make sure you hit that sub button, man. It's your boy Johnny Finesse, and I'm gonna holla at y'all.